Hi, how are you? Today we're going to talk about why I raise worms. Renee asked the question the other day of why I farm them, and I don't like to call it farming. I like to call it raising, because you're raising worms from a cocoon to an adult. And I will show you two cocoons during this segment of one is pretty new. It still has a yellow color to it. The other cocoon is ready to be hatched. And in a cocoon, there are between 2 and 20 worms. As small as the cocoons are, you will see that it's unbelievable that it would hold that many. A cocoon is about the size of a grain of rice or smaller. So I'm not too sure how well this is going to show up, but these are two cocoons. That's how small they are. That's a regular newspaper, maybe if I don't light it up too much. But these are small, and you can tell by the color. I thought these were two different ones, but these ones look like they're about to hatch pretty soon. I'm trying to get a good color here. So you can see they're kind of like a reddish right now, and when they're younger or just produced, they're a yellowish tint to them. So just to give you a shot of what they look like. So getting back to why I raise them, basically it's for the not for the cocoons. Actually, part of the reason, because you always want more worms on hand and available for all your bins and for your needs. Worms will reproduce on their own. So in your initial setup, of the only things you really have to buy is a pound of worms and a bin. If you have a bin around, or you have a container to use as one, there's a less expense right there. But that's basically the only thing you will ever have to buy ever. Everything else is free. Basically you're using your garbage, your output of carbon waste in your garbage. The things that you throw away these days can be recycled and used in a worm bin. And let me give you some instances of those. A phone book. No, you're not from Yavapai County, but I am. But a phone book, and maybe my worms will call you, because they always read these. But a phone book will be used as bedding. You wouldn't think that, but I will show you at the end of this segment that this phone book is no longer a phone book. It's into worm castings. And that's the end product that you want, is worm castings or vermicompost, if it's not all completely broke down. And it's beneficial for your plants. Your plants, whatever you're growing, you want worm castings. You want fertilizer. It's in your worm castings. Everything I've showed you out front the past 2 or 3 videos have not been fertilized with anything but worm castings and compost tea. No organic fertilizers, no store-bought, no Miracle Grow. That's a dirty word. Nothing. No fertilizers. Just worm castings. And look how big that stuff has grown. Let me give you a few more instances of stuff for bedding. A sock. you can use 100% cotton. Anything. A sock, a pair of pants. You seen my video with the worms living in pants. It's 100% cotton. All you do is chop them up. Chop up your pants so they work through it. Bills. Just take the cellophane plastic out of them. You can use your bills and throw them into your worm bins and they will eat them. Newspaper. Ooh. Papa John's? Hey, it's Papa John's. Look, CJ, it's Papa John's. Newspaper can be used as bedding and mixed in. And I don't have any cardboard right next to me to show you. But cardboard is the biggest bedding usage for all my bins. And I hate to see popular YouTubers, we're not naming anybody in Seattle, but they throw their cardboard out. I'm going, why? Why do you keep throwing your cardboard out? You know, you could use it, as I've been showing in the planters, on your plants, around plants for mulch. Instead of throwing it out, you can use it around your house, and plus your worm bins. Worms love cardboard. I'm trying to think of other bedding that can be used. That's pretty much it. Anything 100% cotton. Leaves. Fall leaves are good to use. Lots of fall leaves coming in right now. The only thing I have a problem with is with the leaves is the fibrous of the stems. There's still fibers and they take a long time to break down. And what else can I tell you about worms? Just the castings. The castings will be, you'd be amazed by them, of using them. And I shouldn't really point out the only person in Seattle who everyone knows who I'm talking about and gets daily boxes. But there's lots of other people that get boxes coming through and can be used for mulch, for worm bedding, in your planters, like I've shown. You know, there's quite a few uses for it. Even ground cover. If you don't want grass growing, put some cardboard down. The worms will live under it, and it'll kill your grass, but it's better than using anything for sprays, any type of, you know, pesticide sprays to kill your grass. Just lay some cardboard down. There's lots of uses for it. I found a few more things to use for bedding. Okay, cardboard. Cardboard. Don't throw it away. Use it. You can use it around your house, as I said. Egg cartons. I forgot all about them. Worms love egg cartons. You'd be surprised. And you can use this just as cardboard, as mulch out there. So just rip them up, soak them, and then put them in your bin. An old pillowcase. As long as it's cotton, you can use it. So that's why I raise worms, to show you how to save and recycle most of the output carbon waste in your trash. At least 30% goes to waste. And I'm not even finished with this. As we're talking about output waste, there's food waste. There's coffee grounds. You know how much the worms love coffee grounds. I've showed it. Coffee grounds are free. Starbucks. Because I asked one person the other day, he goes to Starbucks a lot, down in El Mirage area, and And I'm going, oh, why don't you just pick up some coffee grounds? And, you know, he was going to replant his grass out back. And he goes, well, I don't make enough coffee grounds in my coffee maker. Every place has coffee grounds. There's an output of waste there. All you have to do is ask. Starbucks, you saw 3 big trash bags I picked up the other week from Starbucks. There's, you know, lots of coffee houses. Doesn't need to be Starbucks. Other people throw it out. And there's other types of waste coming out of your kitchen also. There's bread. I wouldn't use a lot, but you can use bread. Lettuce. Lots of greens, peas. You cut up the end of a meal. You know, when you're making a meal at the end, you got little leftovers or whatever, throw them in your bin. The worms will eat them. Corn cobs. I didn't even have any this year. Worms love corn cobs. They bury into them. After a while, the corn cob breaks down, and the worms will live inside of them and use the inside as a home. The outside where the corn is, they'll rub up against them and deposit their cocoons. They basically use it as a little, like rocks, like a snake would, of shedding their skin. They would shed their cocoons and leave their cocoons on the corn cobs. And I don't have any corn cobs this year. Last year I had quite a few, but I didn't get any this year. Banana peels. Banana peels are great. You freeze them first so they don't get any fruit flies. So the freezer will break down the walls, the cell membrane walls of the banana peels. So freeze your banana peels and then throw them in your bin. You've seen a segment, I think, of me feeding with banana peels. And I probably have, I'd say, over 200 banana peels in my freezer still. You know, I eat bananas. So I save the peels, even the bananas. The bananas go bad, you don't want to make a banana bread or anything out of that. Throw the whole banana in. They'll eat it. It'll eventually break down and they'll eat it, but they'll eat it. So there's lots of kitchen food waste. You know, stay away from dairy. Stay away from greasy things. No meat. They could go and eat meat, but it will smell really bad. So stay away from meat, greasy foods. Your green vegetables, apples. Apples will eat like crazy. I have another bin with just peat moss, which I'll be doing a segment here, either on this one or on my other channel, of my peat moss bin. That's all they're in is peat moss. I had a bad case of peat moss this past spring. It wouldn't grow anything, so I'm letting the worms chew through that and use that for mulch next year, and worm castings around my rose bush and other plants that I plant out front. So that's why I raise worms. That's basically of showing people how to raise them, why I raise them, because for the castings. And every time I'm out, it seems, I'm always talking with somebody. Either it's 1 or 2 people. I'm always encouraging them to get into vermicomposting, which is composting with worms. It's just a fancier name. But it seems like every time I go to Home Depot, I hit up at least 1 or 2 people, or start talking to them. I don't even hit them up. We just, you know, have us starting a conversation and going, oh, why are you buying this today? Oh, that's why I'm buying it. So, yeah, the information getting passed out, showing people. I mean, the plants, the tobacco plants that I have this year are twice as big here than they are at my mom's house because of the compost and the compost tea that I gave them, which my mom just gave water, and they're like half the size and really small. So there's a big difference. They're showing it right there of the plant's outcome of what they look like. And it's beneficial. At a microbial level, it's beneficial for the worms and the castings. So that's why I raise worms. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you learn from it. And if you like it, thumbs up. And if you want to watch more videos or about this or whatever's going on, please subscribe. And this is a shot of the bin that I was talking about, of almost pure castings. Right now, I'm zooming in on a worm on the side here. He's just cruising on the top. And can anyone guess what I used for bedding on this? Look at how dark and rich that is. That almost is pure castings. There's a little bit of newspaper left in this that I had on the top. But for the most part, let's get in a little bit closer. The most part, that was phone books. That's unbelievable. There were 6 phone books in this last year. And it filled up the whole bin. Yes. As I said, phone books are a great source of bedding and will produce this type of a casting. And I just keep the cardboard on for moisture to keep the moisture in. So that's the end product. That's why I raise worms, is the castings.